Hey everyone, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we're going to the great state of South Carolina. We're going to interview Mr. Franklin Ramey. Franklin got a top 5 finish last year at the South Carolina Division BFL tournament on Lake Hartwell. That tournament's coming up again this year in just a few weeks, so it'll be great to talk to another top 5 angler that did well last year, what he predicts for this year. Before we get started, as always, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get notified when all of our content is dropping. Also, make sure you check us out, Revital Outdoors, on Facebook and Instagram. And then if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, we are a premium CBD company. We make premium CBD products for all of the outdoor enthusiasts. We are THC-free, made right here in America, and you can order all of our products on our website at www.revitaloutdoors.com. And then also, if you're interested in pro staff opportunities, check out our application on our website on the pro staff tab as well. So, that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him right in. Mr. Franklin Ramey, how you doing this evening?
Good, man. How's it going?
Doing good. Well, man, let's get right into it. You know, top 5 finish last year at Hartwell. I looked up your record on Major League Fishing. You've got a really good reputation, a good background with fishing Hartwell. So let's talk about the tournament last year and what were you able to put together and why did it turn out so well for you?
Well, last year we had some, the weather was colder and right before the tournament, we got into, more of a warming trend. So the fish at Hartwell were relatively deep last year at this time. But like overnight, they're really bad about doing it. The fish moved totally. And I actually abandoned everything I had last year and had to go shallow. Pretty much almost like not even practicing. But, Hartwell's so funny. As we know, it's full of spotted bass, big spotted bass. And they're going to stay out there all the way up to the spawn. But they're not going to win, not this time of year. 9 times out of 10, 90% largemouth. You may weigh in 1 or 2. For me, last year actually just keyed me in on was the birds. All the birds had left from where I was catching them. I wasn't seeing them on the graft anymore. So I moved in shallow and just started looking, and that it worked. It's just one of those days it worked out.
I got you. So targeting largemouth, that is one common trend that I see with spotted bass lakes is, even as great as the spotted bass population is on a lake, and Hartwell's got a damn good one, got a very good, healthy population of blueback herring as well, you still got to have those largemouth to win a tournament.
Oh, totally. I mean, without them, Lake Hartwell is probably one of the ones in the Savannah River chain that still has big largemouth, and it has a lot of them. And people get stuck on the spots. Easy to catch, lots of them. But if you're going to win, or you're going to finish, in the top, you got to have them. And we had the Classic last week. Those fish were already spawning. I mean, there were fish up everywhere. And we just had some strange weather come in here, and everything just kind of, just went dead. I mean, the guys did good, but you could tell how much of the field didn't catch them for Lake Hartwell. So I really think coming up till, this tournament here, they're ready to go. And 95% sure, this tournament will probably be won with people looking at them when they catch them. No doubt,
Okay.
So also the bluebacks, what you was mentioning, blueback herring a little while ago, they're going to want to come too. And it's not going to take very little more weather, just enough warmth for them to come up. And at Lake Hartwell, when you got a spawn and a blueback herring decide to show up, it's amazing. And it's going to be close. It's going to be real close this time.
Now, are you saying there's fixing to be a shad spawn on top of the bass spawning as well, or are they just coming up?
Right. The bluebacks are going to start coming up. I'm not saying they're going to be spawning, seeing them up there, but they're going to be so close. In the mornings, they will come up there, and that's when it all happens. You think, we got herring spawn starting, but really at Lake Hartwell, these fish will spawn on the main lake on these red clay flats. And if you run into the herring coming up with that happening, it's on. I mean, that's to me, it's right now, it's fixing to happen. we got 70-degree weather coming up, high 40s at night. Not really a projected cold front. The moon's getting back where it needs to be. And it's going to happen. I mean, so, everybody, your typical lake, people want to go to the pockets. They want to, look for bedding fish, and that's good. And it's going to be a lot of big fish caught that way. But at Lake Hartwell, those fish will spawn where you can't see them. On the main lake, red clay, flat, and when those herring come, it's going to happen. And this is going to be right at that time too.
Okay, I got you. So, well, in thinking about in terms of fishing shallow, do you like to cover a lot of water and just try to target a bonus fish, or are you just strictly looking for the let's say for practice, are you just strictly looking for betters and marking them, or are you fishing and then if you come across a better, you will fish for it?
I'm fishing, and I like to throw baits that will get the fish to show themselves. That's what I like to do. I don't really I'm not the one to go down the bank with my rod under my arm looking for them. That's not my style. I like to move a lot, and really key on those spawning flats. Like I said, you're not always going to see those fish. And for me, I like to target the ones you don't see. Now, if I do see them, of course, I will catch them. I'll try my best to catch them, and especially if it's a good fish. But Hartwell, you really don't have to. You pick up a swim bait, a moving bait, and if you pull up on the right place, you may get 7 or 8 of them to show themselves to you. And not being able to see them, to me, at Hartwell is easier to catch them. I know where they're at. I'll mark them. I'll come back. Even though I don't see them, usually you can catch them. And that's what always works best for me there.
I got you. When you're doing that, are you throwing reaction baits, and then are you going to, let's say you're not really targeting betters, but you're just fishing. Are you throwing reaction baits or?
Typically, at Hartwell, if you're out on the main lake and it's clear and it's not a lot of cover, I'll throw a 4.3 Kitech on a light head or no head at all. Just, you'll see them. Most of the time they'll eat it. Sometimes they won't. And if they won't, I just mark that fish and come back, because that fish didn't move at 2 or 3 foot, and he's right there. And, a lot of times you can come back without seeing that fish and fish that general spot and catch that fish. Docks, a lot of people like to throw the stick baits and, the general on the docks. And personally, for me, not my style. I'm going to throw a swim bait on that dock. Mm-hmm. If I do get a big one to follow out from under that dock and not eat it, I will leave that dock and come back and do something else. But it's not my style going dock to dock to dock with a spinning rod. I like to power fish.
Right. When you're talking about in terms of fish spawning on Lake Hartwell, is there an ingredient or a pattern of spawning areas, or are they just going to, I guess what I'm trying to ask is there something that you can piece together that you just know that's going to be a hell of a spawning area, or is it just you never know where they're going to be? You got to cover a lot of water, go into a lot of creeks, a lot of backwaters to find those fish.
Yeah, over the years we've learned these certain little sections and these areas that they're always seem to be there. Year after year, they're always there. If you want to know if it's going on, you pull up, you're going to see them. But for me, the back of the creeks, way in the back, at Lake Hartwell, you don't have to do that. These fish will spawn around islands. They'll spawn on the ends of points, blow-throughs, anywhere there's really a herring will spawn, these fish they'll bed. And I think it's pretty much so. Not early in the year, not the first wave, but this wave is coming. These fish want to feed and spawn. They can do it all in one spot. So, I don't know. I wouldn't just pick. Of course, I could say, this area is where I'm going to go to look for them. But to me, just flat areas, anything flat, sandy, anything. Hartwell's known for the dark spots. We call them dark spots. And it's nothing but just that, that weedy bottom. It's not really any type of vegetation, but they create these dark spots, and that's where those fish like to sit every year. You'll have stretches of that, and then you'll get in stretches of the lake that don't have that, and the places that have it, they're good.
Okay. Changing gears a little bit before we get off here. What about a co-angler on Hartwell that's fishing this tournament this year? I know that it's, that sight fishing, drawing a guy that's sight fishing, that cannot be really a great recipe for what a co-angler wants to hear, but they can definitely use it into their advantage. So what would you recommend?
For the co-angler?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Well, we know all the co-anglers are going to throw shaky head, but if I was a co-angler and I had a guy sitting on a bedding fish, they very seldom see them do it anymore. I would probably have on a lightweight Carolina rig, and, man, I would cover every inch that he's not going to fish. I mean, like, literally, that's what I would do, no doubt. Right. I mean, they're not all sitting up there where he's at. And, we don't throw it. I'm bad about not throwing it like I should, but this time of year, I mean, some of the biggest fish that are caught come off of a Carolina rig. And like I said, I got to slow down. It's hard for me to slow down. So,
no, I hear you. And Hartwell is a very fun lake, but it's a lake that you almost just want to cover so much water because it all looks good. It's all holding fish. You never know when the bluebacks are going to pop up.
No,
and it's hard to slow down like that. As a co-angler, that's what they have to do. But as a boater, it's just there's so many great opportunities if you just cover that water. And I mean, and we saw that in the Bassmaster Classic this year. Jason Christie, he was slowing down in areas, but he was burning the bank until he found what he was looking for.
But when he got what was right, he knew and he took his time. But and that's because he was looking for those key areas, those flat areas.
Right. And I don't think, looking at the live this year and following it, I don't think I saw him catch a fish in the same spot twice. I mean, he was just covering areas,
No. Yep. Well, there was not a big wave. There wasn't. Most of these docks didn't have 5 or 6 fish on every dock. You just had that, those first few fish coming up. They were actually there and left. Why? I mean, the weather didn't get that bad, but something went right, and it just kind of went away on them, really. I was surprised. Right. I thought it was going to be mid-20s, just all across the board. So
I don't know if the weather, fouled up a little bit or what happened there, but it did kind of dip off. But regardless, a good tournament. Franklin gave us a lot of great insight for this year. Good luck to you this year. Hope to see you walk away with maybe that title. And then, that's always great because that means we get to have you back onto the podcast to talk about your success for 2022. But before we let you go, I know you got a lot of people. I looked at your Facebook and everything you got going for. I know you got a lot of support from your family, from people in the area, Lake Hartwell. So anybody you'd like to give a shout out or a thank you to, we just want to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, my wife, my family, I'm gone a lot, and what kind of time it takes to do it right. And I appreciate what they do. And 72 Marine in Elberton, Georgia, and Camus Boats, they've been good to me this year, really, really helping me out tremendously. And just want to thank them too. So
fantastic. Well, Franklin, good luck to you this year in the South Carolina division of the BFLs. Look forward to seeing your success. Hope to have you back on the podcast. To all the anglers fishing the South Carolina BFLs this year, good luck to you. And then all the other anglers that are watching this podcast, please be safe out there. Remember what the sport is for. Have fun while you're doing it. And from all of us at Revital Outdoors, thank you for tuning into this podcast with Mr. Franklin Ramey, or Franklin Ramey, excuse me. He was a top 5 finish last year at Lake Hartwell. So God bless. Be safe out there. We'll talk to everyone on the next podcast.
Thanks a lot.